Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming back to join us for our third session of the morning, and welcome to the world of Laufen. I'm very excited to introduce Mark Avirdo, who is the Corporate Marketing and Design Director for Roca Group, Laufen Bathrooms AG. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi,
Good to see you.
Good to see you. And I'm so excited to also see Marcel Wanders and Gabriele Chiave, who lead Marcel Wanders Studios. Hi, guys. It's so good to see you both.
Hi, Stacy.
Gabriele.
Hello, New York.
Stacey.
Hi. So sorry, I'm too excited to see you. I'm getting off script. But so Marcel Wander Studios, obviously the legendary design firm and creators of the new classic collection for Laufen. The U.S. launch was originally set for ICFF, as we all know, it was canceled, which was why we're here, and we're bringing it to you live streamed from Barcelona, Munich, and Amsterdam. I think these are the most locations we've had. So congratulations on doing that. To the audience, I know you'll have questions for Mark, Gabriele, and Marcel. So please send us throughout the session by clicking the question mark in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And you can submit a question, and we will field those later in the conversation. So as a little bit of background, in case you don't know the beautiful world of Laufen, it is based near Basel, Switzerland, with additional production sites in Austria and the Czech Republic. Mark, can you give us a brief, can you brief us on the company history and a little bit of the legacy as well?
All right. Hello, everybody. Yeah, Laufen is a Swiss-based manufacturer originally of ceramics. We are founded in the town Laufen near Basel in this highly interesting region in Switzerland, in the triangle of Switzerland, Germany, and France, with rich on culture and architecture. And that was more than 125 years ago that a family has founded the company there, based on ceramic raw materials. In the course of the history, we have developed that brand to one of the leading manufacturers in ceramics worldwide. We have proven records of being trendsetters in product designs and innovations, but also in production methods, with proprietary innovations that have really revolutionized the bathroom sector. To name just a few, in terms of industrial production, we have invented a pressure casting system that is now state of the art in production, but before was absolutely not existing. And in terms of product, we constantly work on typologies. In the 60s, Laufen invented the wall-hanging toilet. I know in the States is still a bit underrepresented, but in
Yes.
in high-level projects, it's gaining ground. And yeah, that was invented in Laufen in Switzerland in 1963. To cut short and jump over some other innovations, the latest really world innovation was our new material, the sapphire ceramic, which allows us very thin ceramic designs, very thin walls with very sharp edges. Still having all the benefits of the ceramic material, which is the best and unique in the bathroom in terms of hygiene, but also in terms of sustainability. It's fully recyclable, it's fully natural material, and we are working in a almost circular process already today, where we keep any kind of emissions very, very low. And this new material is helping us on that. But I believe today is more about what we were able to do with that new material in the collaboration with designers, such as the new classic collection with Marcel and Gabriele.
Wonderful. And can you tell us how this collaboration came to be? You know, how did it even begin? Have you worked together before, or is this a new one together?
Well, I think there's always the two sides. Now, one is, of course, the internal view of the company. What do we need? What do we want to achieve? What is our journey? we have worked with this new material on a very modern and progressive way, launching some collections before. The collaboration with Cartel was the first full collections. After we did with Konstantin Kricic, Val, and Ino with Tuan and Nguyen, and also with Patricia Urquiola, the Sonar collection.
Right.
That was always trying to understand what the new material can do in terms of redefining the product. I think there's many analogies in history of design where a new product, a new material, or a new production method could change completely the product. I was listening to Rolf Fehlbaum this week in their summit. The invention of the cantilever chair by Mats Stam was due to a new technology in cold bending tubular frames, and then how it evolved from applying traditional elements with a new material or going radical to make new inventions. I would say our first collections were more radical, and also it was resembling the path of Laufen to be, I would say, an ultra modern design, architectural driven brand. But there was also always the desire of having a more classic shape in the portfolio, not because it's a standard in every portfolio. And that's exactly the reason why I never approached this project for many, many years, despite commercials were asking for it. We need a classic, a colonial style, or whatever style you wanted to call it. We did not want to go there until the moment a few things came in place. One, the material that I mentioned, but the other, the designer. And then how that started, it all starts with a relationship, and whether it was having a chat in any location around the world at the time where we could still travel.
Right.
I've been to New York together, Moscow, Milan, and getting to know each other. Also, we got to know each other in a specific project in the Mondrian Hotel in Doha, where the studio was requesting some bathtubs and bathroom fixtures customized for that emblematic project. And that's another wing of Laufen where we can do bespoke products. And we entered in the relationship through the bespoke products. It was not from the beginning to say we want to make a collection for the global catalog.
Got it.
But relationship paired then with, of course, excellence on both sides, and that material really opened our eyes, and together we went on the journey and started the exploration of interpreting this in a new classic style.
Wonderful. Well, before we dive more into the collection, let's have a look at the genius and creativity that is Marcel Wander's studio. Hi, we're back. What an amazing snapshot of that work. Gabriele, Marcel, for those that might not know you, can you tell us a little bit about Marcel Wander's studio and what you all are about?
Well,
Hello,
the video you just saw is a video of Laufen. It was not the studio of us.
Yes,
So
sorry, you are
I'm not
coming
sure
next. So that was Laufen's Beauty, and then we will get to you guys in a minute. I apologize.
Yeah, that's
No
no worries.
problem.
But let's look at the video first, because then after we've said most everything. So
So you want to go into the video?
yeah, it's more easy, I guess.
Okay, so tell us let's talk about the collection that we just saw and the mastery that went behind it. Can you talk a little bit about that production and what that looked like?
I think it's we were asked by Laufen at some point to think about a new collection. We had worked on a bespoke piece that we did for a hotel. It was pretty difficult to find a company that could do a super big tub for a small amount of pieces, and the working relationship with Laufen was great. I think on average we scare people away a bit, but Mark was bold enough to think like, maybe they're not so bad. And so we started working on this idea that maybe we could do a collection. Now, for us, it's interesting to see if we can innovate while respecting the past. So to make objects that respect the past and therefore can be respected tomorrow themselves. So a durable object starts in a way with the mindset of being less timely. There's nothing that is less durable than something new. New is the most indurable thing you can do. So we try to make things that are in a way less new. And so to make an object and a series of ceramics that would show that respect for the past, and while doing so, fit in a world that is as well a modern surrounding, but also a more like older surrounding, a more private surrounding, as well also as a more corporate surrounding. So we really try to find a way to make a series that in a way really connect to the use while connecting to the different worlds where it can be used. And then we made quite some different directions, and ultimately we came up with this very fundamental and beautiful idea that the water sits in a bowl like it used to sit 100 years ago, and you watch from there. And then that bowl is a ceramic bowl, is the most beautiful, intricate bowl, and it has to be fixed in a way to architecture. And so it is connected to a more geometrical shape, which can be square or elliptical. And so these two together are the fundament of our design. A bowl on something that makes the transition to the architecture, so to the geometry. And that became the kind of leading principle for all the designs.
And in bathroom design, I mean, you have to it's such a perfect marriage of form and function, right? That it has to look beautiful, but has to function as much, if not more so, than other products in the space. What did you learn, or what were some of the surprising challenges and solutions that you came up with along the way?
Well, what I think is really interesting, that the bathroom is a place where possibly you are naked and you're in a small space that is hard and square and in a way unforgiving to the human body. So you want to create objects that have softness and that have gentle shapes, and that in a way make the transition from being soft and amorphous to being more geometrical and hard. So it's really given by this idea that our objects are round and soft while being on a pedestal that is more rectangular and more squarish and more architectural, and therefore are an introduction of the architectural space.
Love that. And you guys have designed many different products along the way, and you do much custom work. If people haven't seen your Mondrian Doha project, it's stunning. What was it like to round out your portfolio by including bathroom design? And what was it like to work on plumbing? Maybe Gabriele, do you want to jump in at all?
Well, I wouldn't call it plumbing because
No,
it's we see it a bit of a more coherent, I mean, more extensive work. As you mentioned, as Marcel was mentioning, the bathroom is a very important part of your home, also in general, as any space. And with Laufen, we managed, in fact, not to design few products, but to design a whole experience of bathroom. The collection is just not just about ceramics, but it entails furniture, it entails faucets, it entails different type of support for this basin and washing. So I think that's really something more complex and not seeing it as bathroom. And I believe that also the fact of the balance that we managed to reach with this collection, which the name is the new classic. So it's something which basically, if you see the collection, it looks like it's always been there. It always existed. It's so natural. It's so near to what you feel and you remember from your memory. So I think that the collection has a balance which also allows it to really use it in very much different places, from hospitality to hotels to villas. We did a photo shooting in a very traditional villa in Italy, but you could see it very much in a loft in New York. Therefore, I think it's really been an amazing work also because of the size of the collection, which was very important to Laufen to cover this area, which really would have this kind of balance, because it's a collection which is extremely balanced, that speaks about the past and the future, and is coming together in a beautiful way. I guess that all the pieces makes a collection very much strong, and the concept you will see about the architectural and organic, feminine and masculine also reflects into the faucets, reflects into the furniture. We always have a kind of balance between soft and hard shapes that comes beautifully together.
Right. And Mark had mentioned, how strong Laufen is in innovation, especially your patented ceramic that is, as strong as steel. Can you help us understand this revolutionary advance and how it came to be?
Yeah. Well, from our side, it was an amazing opportunity because, in fact, we knew ceramics since years, and you know that you have to work with certain thicknesses and radiuses and so on. At a certain point, sapphire ceramic, which is an extremely amazing ceramic, which is like super thin, very strong, which means that if you see that the beautiful bowl, the main basin, which, as Marcel was saying, remembers those metal basins of the past of my grandmother or grandmothers, right? It was metal, it was so thin. And now you perceive the same effect in ceramic, which was never been possible before. So it's almost an unconscious lecture of something that belongs to all of us, but now it's beautifully done in ceramic. And therefore, once we started on a different path, and then at a certain point we decided, no, let's use this amazing material. And suddenly the collection became more light, more magic, more impossible, more subtle, beautiful, almost floating. In Milano, we had this beautiful exhibition. You could see these pieces which were really light and perfect. The curves, the radiuses, almost like when you draw it, it was exactly how we did. So it's an amazing material, very much strong, and it allows the expression of the material in a new way. As Mark was saying, when they started, they used the material in a very straight shape and very architectural. I think we expressed the capacities of the material in another way, in a new way, the softness of it. So it was nice to give a new language to this material.
For sure. I feel like that's what you all do so well. And was there something about the sapphire ceramic, if I'm pronouncing that right, that allowed you to design in a way that you wouldn't have been able to prior with that new technology?
Well, in a way, we had, like Gabriele is saying, in the beginning we were planning to use the classical materials, and only once we had done all the designs. At some point, we were like, let's consider maybe this sapphire ceramic because it would be so much more cool. And then, it took us half a year to change the plan to go to sapphire ceramic, because it really, in a way, this whole concept was made to be so thin, and it really, it was. We were super happy when Laufen decided to change their approach and use this material for this concept, because it made complete sense. Maybe people want to see it. You want to see a picture by now, because we're talking a lot about things that people don't see.
Yes.
So is there a way?
There is a way. I think we showed the video and then we'll go to your video. But real quick, I just wanted to ask, how long did this collaboration take? I mean, from beginning to end, to give our audience a sense of, everyone gets a little.
I think around 2-3 years, 3-4 maybe, depends.
Yeah.
I mean, also, Laufen is a Swiss company, so they're very precise. So you can't not mess up around, right?
That's such a friendly way to say it.
But
I think it was 3 years, Mark. Is it?
Yeah, I
3 or
think
4 years.
from the design to the pilot series and the launching was around up to 3 years. But as we said, the relationship went back further.
Yeah.
The Mondial was a long project, and
but it's also a very normal time frame that we kind of have in a lot of projects. I mean, projects take time. They take time, and this was not an easy project, because if you have the line, you have a concept, but then you have to really manage to build that with all the intelligence that goes into making a job that's really great. It just takes time. It takes iterations. It takes models. It takes time. But then again, a series like this is there for the future. For a long time, and if we're not willing to work for it for a few years, then it's probably not worth it. So, don't mind.
All right, well, let's see more of it. To Marcel's point, let's roll the video.
Marcel Wonder's studio, born of passion and love, is known for its bold, daring designs that surprise and delight, with a reputation for beauty that begins in the studio located in Amsterdam. Product design that uplifts the human spirit. Interior designs turned destinations, and art direction that tells stories. The studio's body of work finds itself outside of traditional boundaries, where heritage is crafted by hand and relaxation becomes an art form. Made to delight, formed by innovators acutely aware of human needs, driven to create a better tomorrow. Objects that capture the imagination, pieces that wonder, playful and unexpected. From a team that lives and breathes creativity to enlighten the world and make it a better place for us to live. The studio is creatively led by Marcel Wonders and Gabriele Chiave, ushering in a new age of design, guiding a multidisciplinary team of design experts, working with global companies, innovating culturally and celebrating heritage. The studio is always reimagining and designing smart and sustainable products. From iconic home furnishings to cosmetics collections. Working from a new type of consciousness, we bring craft to each project. Multi-sensory experiences bring the local culture inside. Interiors offering a genuine connection to a storied place or time. As we redefine the language of an iconic place to arrive in a contemporary moment, we create a feeling that stays long after people leave. Crafting beauty, always designing the unexpected, with the purpose to surprise and delight. When true value is personal, without price or reason, that's where the magic begins. We are storytellers, crafting a beautiful tale. Together we breathe creativity and realize design's true purpose of meaningful connection. Here to create an environment of love, live with passion, and make our most exciting dreams come true. We are Marcel Wonders.
Yeah, that's a movie about the studio.
I know. So we wanted to show your process. Don't worry. We wanted to show your process and understand how you all think. And now we're going to go see the new classic.
Great.
Lovely.
Yes. There's reasoning behind the madness here. Don't worry.
Oh, really? Yay!
Yay! You saw the beautiful product.
So you saw it.
We did it. We got through it.
Good,
It is
good.
live.
We got there.
Live. Welcome to Live on TV. So where to even begin to go back to the product making? But a lot of people are always curious about a designer's process. How did you did it begin with a sketch? Did it begin with the sink and move to the tub? Or what? Do you guys think of it holistically or start with a piece?
No, I mean, in this case, it really starts with a fundamental line where that line represents that old bowl that we know. It's really like, it looks like that bowl is really a bowl that, you get it where normally the fruits are there. And it's a washing bowl. It's a washing bowl that we all know from pictures of the past. And that we sculpted that in a beautiful way and kind of tried to make that come alive in all these different aspects of a modern, well-functioning bathroom. So and we had a few more concepts. Obviously, that was the chosen concept because we all loved it so much. It was pure and strong, simple. It had that classic feeling, yet it was a very, sculptural, modern, contemporary idea also. So altogether, that became the start, and from there, it's like an endless amount of iterations and to define exactly how everything goes.
And to add a little bit to this also is when we first discussed with Laufen, of course, any project we do it with a partner. So every project we do is done by both sides, and in this case we should have done a collection which is Marcel Wonders, a collection which is Laufen, and an extra layer to this was the request to really fill one of the area, which was to create a new evergreen, a new classic, as the name of the collection. So then basically we started from this kind of world. That's how it came, the relationship to the bowl. And in the process, normal process as a normal studio, since the importance of this collection, we've started with three main direction ideas, as we call it, the 0.5 presentation. Then we discuss with Mark and we crafted together the right direction to take, and that's the one you see today. So it's a process that really goes hand in hand with, of course, Laufen and Mark and his team. One, because of the importance of the collection, but also because of the technology and because of the need of the industry and the company too. And that's how you start. And then, of course, it's all the design process as we know.
I mean, it's this. We have for a while decided that modernism is fundamentally not the right direction for the future. In modernism, one of the fundamental ideas is that the past is irrelevant for the future. When you design something, you don't have to look in the past to create the future. But what does that mean for the things we create today? If we don't respect the past, what does that mean for the things we create today? That tomorrow they will not be respected or taken serious. So for us, the past is super relevant. For us, that is the starting point. And we want to just really embrace what is great and beautiful about the past, and we want to bring that further. So to create objects that have qualities that can go through times, and therefore create truly durable objects. We call them the new antiques. We want to create new antiques. And new antiques don't start now, they start in the past and they go to the future. Time is traveling with them.
Yeah, I love that. And I think understanding that history and where, history of art, of architecture, and, continuing that and evolving that is so important, especially for our industry.
The history of culture, it is really the history of culture. It's a history of humankind.
Yeah. And, a lot of what we're doing today at CLOSEUP is the story behind the story, right? So tell us what made this collaboration so successful, and what what do you look for in a good partner?
Hey, Mark, maybe this is your...
Losing my mind, sorry.
Still reading your mind, Marcel. It's very successful, and it's also a very attractive collection in any sense, and the collaboration even more. I think it has been said that you have to be close in every moment of the project, and those 3 years are long years now. Even a big part of it is at the end the industrial process, the industrialization, to have it ready in the factories, to produce the output from the start of sales. But you're constantly in touch because there's always something to do, from the very first line to the catalog being printed. And I strongly believe that a project is only successful if you are close together with the key players in the project, which is the creative team in this case, with the company and all people involved in the background. And that was really something outstanding in this collaboration, that we developed such a mutual understanding for every little detail, every little element of this launching at the end. And that then brings you together, makes friendship, and is just, of course, great to go out and present it and celebrate it as well.
Right. And was there a lot of, what's the right line between back and forth, between creative and technology and, function? Was there tell us a little bit about how that relationship worked and what the innuendos were working together?
I think it comes very natural because we are talking to the best people in their field. No?
Right.
I mean, Marcel and Gabriele are not there for any other reason than they are top professionals understanding perfectly the whole picture, from the detail of the technical aspect to the economic and marketing side. And on the other hand, Laufen is used to enter this discourse, and the entire organization is used to listen to the designers and take the words of the designers in order to make it possible, not to A technician sometimes tries to explain why it's not possible now, but this doesn't exist in the Laufen culture. Our culture of collaboration is to make the impossible possible, of course, with all the aspects of economic and sustainable reasons. But that on such a mature level, then it just comes natural.
I think the collection can be successful because really Laufen, they know really the technical parts of systems like this really, and we worked to get all of these in place. But separately also, Laufen has a larger collection wherein most of their collection, if not everything, is architectural in its design. It's architectural as what it is, and ours is different. It's more humanesque. It's more subtle. It's more biomorph. It's more cultured. It's more feminine, and I think that gives it a special place. I think ultimately, I think the reason why it could be a success is that it could speak to projects as well in a more personal setting as in a more professional setting, right. In a more modern context and in a more or a contemporary context, let's say it this way, or in a more like historical context. So a rebuild, a new build, a project, a house of a private person. I think if we're able to convey that this object is able to do all those things, then and people see it and love it. Therefore, I think then we might have something that is going to make a lot of people happy.
That's awesome. And what keeps you all inspired throughout the last 9 months? I know, Gabriele, we did a Instagram Live right at the beginning. And, what have you done to keep your team motivated? I mean, it must be working on great projects like this, but, the pandemic has changed a lot of things, especially, how people work. So what has been ways that you've kept inspired and kept your teams inspired?
Well, when we talked, it was the beginning, February, March, I don't remember. And then we thought, wow, it's all exceptional. Then we started to come back a bit to the studio and connecting with people because our studio culture is extremely important as a second family. And now, unfortunately, as you all know, we are going again into the same unfortunate process of being home. The studio is still it's being closed again. However, I think we're more ready, we're more mature, of course, from what we've been understanding before. And with the studio, and Marcel, since many years, has infused the studio culture with a really humanistic touch because we take care about our teams, not just, as a studio, but also in the way we do things. So to keep the team excited, we do crazy things. We send them when it's Easter a beautiful gift with an egg to everyone. Or we go and connect and we do a distance party in the park. Or we each time send beautiful things, meaningful things to our team in order to remind them that we're still connected. We did once a party outside of the studio and everybody had to invent a dress that would keep 1.5 meters from the others. It's beautiful, right? Beautiful things. And beside this, we also keep them inspired with a lot of research we're doing, research about different topics, about looking into the future of hospitality, looking into sustainability and new approach of using new materials. So we also give them teams and tasks which are out of the normal project, which we still do, but also we let's say excite them a bit about thinking a bit more than not just doing projects.
What are some of those things that you're thinking about, in terms of hospitality, in terms of, I mean, you guys touch so many different spaces, in terms of wellness and how the last 9 months will affect us moving forward?
Well, I think one of the things that we feel is super important now is that a lot of international brands are in trouble because their clientele that sits all over the world is confronted with very different rules and very different opportunities. And so I think this is a really interesting moment to think local because we have to,
Right.
but also because now maybe we should, and it allows suddenly that hotels just are not only not only allowing the people locally to think about their city, but they could ask the people locally to think what you can do now today in your city, because I think on average, efficiency leads to kind of globalization of ideas. Problems like this lead to localization of solutions. And I think it's a really great opportunity for individuals to step up in larger organizations, to come up with new ideas and to do experiments. This is a perfect moment to experiment.
Yep.
This is a perfect moment to see where you can be valuable. You've got your people. They maybe don't know what to do. You make them do something that's relevant for the people in the street, because it is what you can do. I think it's fantastic also if you are able to think local.
And mostly also we started within ourselves, within our teams, because the first community local people is the studio, and then is our streets, and so it is very true. And I believe that this pandemic and this situation has just been an accelerator to things that we would not want to look at and see, because finally it's something that was already raising around the world, the wanting more nature, the wanting more well-being, less pollution, less traveling. So it's something that I believe that just gave us a chance to reflect and have time to make new solutions. And this is not only in interior design and product design, but also in the way we live ourselves and lifestyle we drive as human beings.
We had an intern from Italy, Susanna. She came more or less on the day that we started working from home, all of us. And she came from Italy, lives in a shit small apartment somewhere in Amsterdam on her own, doing an internship at the famous Marcel Wonders. She hasn't been she's been in the studio maybe 2 or 3 times and nobody was there. I mean, the way the team has embraced her and just being connected to her in so many ways and has helped her having a great time has humbled me, has made me feel super proud of my team. And I mean, she has her last week this week, and she wrote a thank you letter for the internship. It was just like the most beautiful thing to read. In times like this, to read someone that's gone through this on a little room in Amsterdam and is so grateful and has learned so much of all of us and the team. I mean, I think it's wonderful. I think it's really beautiful. And it's up to us to make it work. It's up to us.
I love that. We do have some questions from the audience, which I'm not surprised by with this group. So I'm going to turn it over to Megan Dwyer, ICFF's Associate Content Director, to share some of the questions that the audience wants to hear about. Megan?
Yep. So we had a question, a comment and a question. It's so interesting that you say you respect the past, that you use it as a starting point for the new antiques. So 2 questions. Culturally, what do you like to study, read, do, and watch that lends that historical perspective? And what do you follow in technological breakthroughs? Is that as important?
I think I'm not a historian. I'm not even interested in it. We don't make historical work. I mean, what I do think, I look to the world and I look with an open mind. I look with love, and I see things that generations of people have loved. It's not something I have to study. It is with me. I don't want to find the historical idea and to bring it forward. I want to just respect what there is and see how great it is. Whether it's a bowl, right? We don't have to invent that idea. So we don't try to make historical work again. We just try to work in such a way that we do not cut away the past every day. The past is relevant to the future. That's all we do. We don't research the past. we research the future because we want to know what the world needs tomorrow. But we take what we like with us. We don't automatically cut away. Because it's a shame. It's a shame. Too much gets broken and too little things that are amazing survive. And when it comes to the future, I mean, there's an endless amount of things to study. Whether it's the business models that our startups are doing, whether it is materials that can be used in the future, whether it's new technologies. I mean, we study all kinds of things, of course, and with us do our clients. I mean, we didn't come up with sapphire ceramics, but we have to find the reason why they did it. Because they just do the invention, maybe they know more or less why, but we have to prove that they're right. We have to show a design that's like, yes, now we get it. That's why we did it. That's our task. So it's always a mutual collaboration. I always tend to say that, you know, the designs that we make in the studio, I mean, they're basically our babies. And obviously we are the mother, and then the company must be the father to make a good baby, to make a pretty baby, find a pretty father to make a smart baby. You can't have a dumb father. So you pick your fathers wisely, and then once you've done that, of course you want to listen to them. You want to understand what they really want and what they can. So you bring the best of who they are forward inside the design. And so you can do something that only in this relationship could happen. It could not happen in any other relationship. It couldn't have done without you. You couldn't have done it without them. And so you build something that really at the end of the line, the father recognizes as his. Because fathers like that. And then they take care of the kids also.
I love that. That's awesome. Thank you. What other questions do we have, Megan?
This is a question for Laufen. Laufen has collaborated on collections with many different designers. How do you determine who you work with?
That's what fathers do, right?
Well, it's really, as I said in the beginning, is the two sides. Now, the inside view, what we really need, what we believe we make the company stronger and sustainable for the future, and who could help us in this process. And then is not any scientific or any process from the books. Is simply that you have to know the people who are good and why they are good and what they are good in, and to find the perfect match for the perfect baby. Some are better for other babies, some are better for this one. And yeah, we were speaking about this collection where I could not imagine a different collaboration for this result that we wanted to achieve, which, by the way, is beyond any expectation that you have in the beginning, and that has to be like this. I mean, if we would just reach what we try to achieve, it would not be right. In the course of the journey, after 3 years, we have to be much further than what we were thinking in the beginning. And now when we look back sometimes in the first drawings and the first approaches, whether it's on the design or on the communication, in some points we were completely wrong. But smart enough to understand that it can go in a different direction, and we just kept pushing and elaborating it. And only if you have this kind of trust and understanding, you can do another great project. And for that's kind of the non-process of choosing the designer to work with.
Love it. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time. The 50 minutes flew by. I just want to give a special thanks to Marc, Marcel, and Gabriele. It was a treat to sit here with you for the last hour, and it's such a beautiful collection. Super excited to see it in person. You can see more at laufen.com or marcelwanders.com, and on Instagram at Laufen Bathrooms or at Marcel Wanders. If you want to hear more too from Marcel, I was lucky enough to have him on our Hospitality Design What I've Learned podcast back earlier this year, or earlier, sorry, later, yeah, it was earlier this year. The time is every day as just becoming the same day over and over again. But check it out on whatever application you use to listen to podcasts. Following a 10-minute break, we'll be back with Resource USA. And before that, sit back, relax, and meet Roman and Williams as Hospitality Design Magazine takes you close up with two amazing creatives. See you back here at noon Eastern for Resource.